Alright, this is going to be a very short video just to introduce the three formulas that we're going to use for Chebyshev's theorem and trying to figure out information when they give us a percent to start with, that'll be given to us, or if they give us two data values and they want us to find the percent. Alright, so to start, here is the theorem of the formula you're going to use. Whenever you use this, when you figure this out, the k must be larger than 1. So, what is k? Well, when you get the information, whether you make it or they give it to you, whether you calculate it or they give it to you, you have to be given or create the mean. You also have to get the standard deviation. And we went over this before, but I just want to make sure that you understand that standard deviation and the mean work together. So the standard deviation is how far from the mean. It is a distance from, I wrote it wrong. Skip that. Skip it. The standard deviation is how spread out your data is. So when you see this symbol, that says standard deviation. That's how spread out your data is. Now when we look at this, k, and k will be here, and standard deviation will be here. K is the number of standard deviations from the mean. So as this is the actual standard deviation, the k is how many standard deviations you went out to include. So if you go back to our original bell curve and we put mean here, we know that this is 1.0 standard deviations from the mean. This is negative 1.0 standard deviations from the mean. Okay? So, in here is 68% of your data. So, when you say 1.0, that's talking about your k. It could be 1.5, it could be 2.3, 2.7, 3. It all depends on the data here, how many standard deviations you're going to go out. But the k talks about this. This is a standard deviation in the set of data that you're given. Now in the beginning they're just going to give you the standard deviation. Right? So that sort of explains this. Then after we use this, if you're given a percentage, then we're going to use this to find the upper and lower limits of your data set. Alright, so this is the mean again. Mean, plus or minus, that means you have to do it twice. You have to subtract 1, and then you have to add 1. And I'll show you that in the next video. Alright, k, we already went over. K is the number of standard deviations from the mean. And this symbol is your standard deviations of the data. There is one more formula we'll use, but this formula is pretty simple, straightforward. They're going to give you a data value. You subtract it from the mean and divide by your standard deviations. And that will give you something called a z-score. Alright, and you'll see these in the next video coming up. I just want to at least give an introduction before I just start throwing numbers up there. Alright, so see you in the next video. Have a good one.